The channel Home Issues welcomes you, and we begin. From the airport, Michael went home, having called several times beforehand, but the phone stubbornly went to voicemail. However, this didn't particularly interest him. He already knew where his wife would be these 2 days. He wasn't in a hurry. He arrived home and began packing his things, preparing to move. He retrieved all his tools stored in the garage and packed everything into boxes. In the evening, he sat in the kitchen sipping beer with shrimp. Anna called. "Hi, dear. What are you doing?" "Well, I got some beer and shrimp, and I'm drinking." "Why aren't you at a restaurant?" "You know how much I dislike restaurants. But don't worry, I had dinner half an hour ago." "And what are you doing?" "I'm in the kitchen preparing dinner and breakfast for myself. Is everything still on track with your trip?" Everything is going as planned. Michael had known for a long time that his wife was unfaithful. Perhaps it started when she began seeing Alex again. First, they had a renewed honeymoon phase, then regular meetings. This renewed phase happened because Alex and Anna had dated in school, but their paths diverged later. When they met again, their old love reignited with new intensity. But there were obstacles. Alex had been married for 2 years, and Anna was also not free, yet everything suited them. They enjoyed themselves thoroughly. Michael didn't remain in the dark for long and unraveled the truth from Anna's friend Vika. Vika, who had been married twice and changed numerous lovers, told him everything she knew about Alex and Anna. As it turned out, to save money for their meetings, they used her apartment during work days, and during Alex's business trips, they rented her apartment for those days. That's how it was now. During these days, Anna didn't come home, only appearing the day before Michael's return. After finding out everything, Michael took measures, hoping to save the family. Later, he realized it was futile. He simply couldn't live with Anna after everything that had happened. Then he contacted Alex's wife and arranged a meeting. He believed his spouse should know about her husband's affair. He couldn't understand how she hadn't noticed another woman in Alex's life. At the time, he was supposedly on a business trip, so he took a taxi cafe and went inside. There weren't many people, and soft music played quietly. Since he was already acquainted with Elena, whom he'd met at his wife's corporate parties, he quickly found her in the hall. He greeted her and asked, "Have you ordered anything yet?" "No, I just arrived a minute ago, and here comes the menu." Being a true gentleman, Michael let Elena choose the dishes. He only warned her, "I haven't had dinner yet, so I won't refuse mashed potatoes with a pork steak. Maybe wine or something stronger?" "Something stronger will do. I came by taxi, and since I invited you here, I'll make sure to see you home. So I gather you didn't invite me here just for a casual meeting. Let's drink, and I'll start my story while waiting for the main course." They drank, set down their glasses, nibbled on fruits, and Michael began his story. "You see, Elena, my wife and your husband are lovers. I'm taking steps to divorce my wife. Perhaps you'll decide to part ways with your husband too. That's why I invited you here today." Elena silently took a sip of wine and replied, "I've known for a long time that my husband cheats on me. Only he hasn't been seeing your wife and meets in the apartment where he lives. I don't think his mistress Yana would tolerate anyone else. But nonetheless, that's the case. They meet in the apartment of my wife's friend, Victoria. You see, Michael, on our wedding day, Alex cheated on me, and rather clumsily. I caught him. So, we didn't have a honeymoon. He's my paper husband. We haven't had anything together since then. Since then, he lives in his city apartment, and I live in my parents' cottage outside the city." "And where do your parents live?" "They have another house. If you remember, the company where your wife and my husband work belongs to my father. But that's not entirely accurate. My mother and I are the main shareholders. The 3 of us own 75% of the shares. And the remaining 25%? They belong to Alex's parents. So why didn't you split up with Alex earlier?" "And why should I? I live alone in a beautiful cottage and am completely disinterested in his life. We meet perhaps at corporate events where I'm forced to attend, pretending to be his wife. But he's so tender with you there. He still hopes for forgiveness, but after talking to him, I feel somehow spat upon. Does he ever visit you at the cottage? God forbid. So, you're not interested in a divorce? I didn't say that. There are reasons why I can't divorce him yet, and honestly, it doesn't bother me. And the fact that Alex has, as I understand, 2 mistresses. I don't live with him, though yes, I'm married to him. Pour some more, and tell me, are you in a hurry anywhere? No. I'm on a business trip today. I'll arrive tomorrow morning. And in reality? At a campsite outside the city. They stayed in the cafe until closing time, after which Michael escorted Elena home by taxi, then went to a motel himself. 2 days later, Elena called Michael and invited him to visit a tourist base in the neighboring district over the weekend. She said, "Tell your wife where you're going." She won't go anyway because Alex has some meeting planned. And if they connect our trips together? Unlikely. I don't report to my husband where I've been, and he doesn't either. And if we meet them at the tourist base? I doubt it. At the nightclub, maybe. But I don't go there. Michael and Elena went to the tourist base over the weekend, where there were no available rooms, so they stayed in one room. From that time, they began regularly meeting at Elena's cottage. The day came when Michael decided it was time to end this farce of a marriage. Elena shared the same opinion. By this time, she had driven a wedge into the relationship between Alex's parents, and his mother initiated divorce proceedings, expelling her husband from the cottage. Elena worked on buying out the shares owned by Alex's parents, both of them. And one fine day, 2 deals took place. First, Alex's mother sold her share to Elena, and on the same day, his father sold his share. Alex didn't know what was happening with his parents, or that Elena now owned 50% of the company's shares. Overall, Alex was mainly preoccupied with his affairs, which his position in the company allowed. That's where he reconnected with Anna, his former high school love. Formally, Alex was married, but his wife kicked him out of her parents' cottage on the same day as their wedding. Elena learned about the bachelor party and what her fiancé had done there. Attempts at reconciliation led to nothing. He began meeting with Yana in his apartment. When Anna appeared, he started seeing her on the territory provided by her friend. Recently, while he was in bed with Anna, she suddenly brought up a question. "Alex, tell me, don't you want to marry me? Remember back in school you talked about it." "Yes, that was a thing, I remember. But today, unfortunately, I'm married." "I'm also married, but I'm ready to divorce my husband. And as far as I know, you don't live with your wife." "How do you know that?" "Well, the whole office knows about it. They also know about our relationship. And that's not very good. If my husband finds out, there will be a scandal. In any case, a scandal is inevitable." In the evening, when Michael supposedly returned from a business trip, Anna was home. He entered the apartment. His wife was sitting in the kitchen, and next to her was Alex. Michael understood that a serious conversation was ahead. It seemed she had finally decided to break up with him, but it no longer concerned him. The work week had ended. He had already moved out his things and intended to inform her today about the breakup with his wife, who had been away from home for 2 days. Anna said, "Dear, we need to talk." Michael calmly walked into the kitchen. He looked at her and saw that she was nervous. By the way, Alex was nervous too. In general, Michael wasn't supposed to know that Alex was his wife's lover. Anna began justifying her departure from Michael, stumbling over every word, and he decided to end this farce. "So, you want a divorce? I understand. I assume your suitcases are packed, and you're ready to leave." "No. I think it would be better if you left. This apartment belonged to me before the marriage. You can keep the country house." "Fine. Give me an hour. I'll pack my things and leave." Anna, not expecting it to be so easy, stared at Michael. Alex, anticipating a scandal, sighed with relief. This was not what they expected. Anna was surprised, thinking Michael would fight for her, that it would hurt him. Michael walked through the rooms, gathering his belongings. In fact, it didn't take much time. Most of his things were already moved out of the apartment, mostly to the country house. The rest were in Elena's cottage. But Anna didn't notice. She only said, "If anything of yours is left here, I'll hand it over at your first call. Michael finished packing, called a taxi, and placed his bags by the door. Then he looked at her and her lover. He said, "Well, I'm done. I'll ask my lawyer to contact your lawyer so we can settle this." "You have a lawyer?" "Of course." Michael received an SMS saying the taxi would arrive in 5 minutes. After he left, Anna said to Alex, "I didn't expect everything to be so simple." "Neither did I. And I guess I can move in with you." "You? With me?" "Yes, there's a hitch with my parents, and they're getting divorced. My mother kicked my father out of the cottage, and he's now living with me. Move in." Especially since Michael left and didn't resist much, which is strange. Michael called Elena and informed her that he had left his wife. Elena asked, "Where are you going now?" "I don't know. I think for now, to the country house." "Michael, some of your things are already with me. By agreeing to their delivery, I didn't mean that I have a storage room here, so I'm waiting for you to move in with me." "Okay. I'll be there in about 15 minutes. Indeed, 15 minutes later, he was dragging his things into Elena's cottage. She showed him where to put them, he washed his hands, and followed Elena into the kitchen. There sat a woman and a man. Turning to him, Elena said, "These are my parents, Alla Leonidovna and Vladimir Fedorovich. You moved in very conveniently today. I don't intend to hide our relationship from them. Dad, Mom, meet my Michael. Daughter, does he work at our company?" "No, at our company works his wife. One of my husband's mistresses, Anna. Is that the one he promoted to department head?" "Dad, don't pretend you don't know. Your spies always tell you what your so-called son-in-law is up to." "Interestingly. Do they tell you about me?" "They do. But I didn't know about Michael because he doesn't work for us. And another thing. I bought all of Alex's shares from his parents. So now I almost have a controlling stake. Don't you want to sell me at least 1% each? That way, Mom and I will have 49%, and you'll have 51%. All your decisions will be binding for us." "Dad, let's say, who among us has an economic education?" "Michael, don't pay attention. Sit down at the table. Daughter, what will you do with Alex? Today he's our deputy general director." "Mom, I'll remove him from his position. Or rather, he'll leave himself." "How?" "He's a thief and embezzled money. I have evidence. And where will you send him?" "If he resists, he'll go to jail. Otherwise, he'll go free." "What about Michael's wife?" "I won't fire her, but I'll remove her from the department leadership. Honestly, she's not coping. Alex pushed her into that position." "So, who will replace Alex?" "No one. The general director will also step down." "And why him?" "For lack of control over Alex, which allowed him to withdraw funds from the company accounts." "I assume you'll appoint Michael as the new general director." "No, that's unnecessary. There would be a conflict of interest with his wife. Besides, I showed you the business plan. We're creating a new division, and I'll be its sole founder. That's where Michael will work, as the general director. For starters, he'll just be a director." "What's the difference between a general director and a director?" "Of course there's a difference. A general director handles strategic planning and overall company management, while a director is responsible for specific tasks and managing a division. And the general director overseeing the entire company will be me." "When will you announce this?" "There are papers in my office. The founder's decision is dated today. Starting Monday, the lawyer will create a new division, or rather, a subsidiary. Everything is cleverly thought out. Tell me, at what price will you buy my shares?" "Dad, I think we'll come to an agreement. And now, maybe we should celebrate this occasion? After all, I introduced you to my man." At this time, Anna was inspecting the apartment rooms and noticed that Michael's things were gone. She said, "Alex, I don't like this. It seems Michael tricked us, though I don't yet know how." "What do you mean?" "Just that. His things aren't here." "But he took them. You saw him carrying out a whole bunch. What he carried out in 2 bags isn't all his things. All his closets are empty. There's no computer, no laptop, no winter clothes, no shoes. What do you want to say?" "He was preparing to leave, and I'm sure he didn't leave for nothing." So call him and ask how he's settled in. Alex, don't you understand that if he was preparing, he already knew about us? It's hard to hide anything in the office, especially from women. Exactly. Everyone knows your wife doesn't live with you. She has her own cottage. Well, her parents' cottage. She didn't want to register it so she wouldn't have to share it with me in case of a divorce. If it was a gift from her parents, then there's nothing to divide. I've decided. In a few days, we'll hold a Board of Founders meeting. You'll be invited too, and I'll push your candidacy for the position of Deputy General Director for Economic Issues. I think you'll handle it. You said your parents are kind of in a fight. That works in my favor. I'll persuade my mom and dad separately. And what? They only have 25%. It all depends on my wife's position. But she doesn't get involved in economic matters, so I think everything will work out. But she's an economist by education. So what? I think she's forgotten everything. And what if she finds out you're living with me? Listen, what am I supposed to do if she won't let me into her house? I'm a man after all, and naturally I need a woman. There were rumors you had some woman you'd been seeing for a long time. Nonsense. To be honest, polygamy should have been introduced in our country long ago, like among Muslims. In the Quran, it says a Muslim can have up to 4 wives. If a woman disagrees with her husband's second marriage, she's going against what's written in the Quran and opposing Allah's will. That puts her faith in question. The arrival of a new wife is a test for a woman before Allah. Thank God we don't have that here. Yes, but we do have Muslims. But those Muslims live by our laws. And what are we even talking about? I'm Orthodox, and so are you. We don't need laws about polygamy. Do you have someone? Officially, only my wife, and even that. I think it's time to divorce her. There's no family, no shared household anyway. For now, let's celebrate your husband leaving. Do we have anything to celebrate with? No, we'll have to go to the store. It's not far. We have time. We'll buy something for dinner. What? Is your house empty? I haven't been home these past few days. You know that yourself. Listen, where did your friend sleep? She has a man she can go to anytime. And she's not planning to get married? He proposed, and soon she'll give him an answer. So she's not getting married? On the contrary, she's getting married. And you don't seem to invite me much. As soon as I get divorced, we'll come back to this question. The weekend flew by. On Monday, Anna was sitting in her office when Michael unexpectedly called her. He asked, Anya, can you go with me to the registry office tomorrow? To the registry office? We've already been there. We submitted an application then. Now we'll submit one again. But for divorce. Is that even possible? Of course, and it's much cheaper. We don't have any property disputes, no children either. And no love either. I assume you found another woman? Why not? I want female warmth too, and your warmth was always redirected to Alex. How long have you known about us? Long enough to realize nothing will ever work between us again. Don't judge me for this. Alex is my high school sweetheart. He's well established, and I'm quite satisfied with him. And what about me? What didn't I satisfy you with? You're just an ordinary person, while Alex has risen in our company. Not everyone can be directors. Someone has to be part of the support staff too. So, tell me, shall we go to the registry office tomorrow? I'm not against it. When and where do we meet? On the steps of the registry office at 10 a.m., I'll pay the state fee for submitting the application. Bring your passport. And you're not even going to try to keep me? Keep you? Why? I need to move forward, and I am moving forward. All right, agreed. Anna went to Alex and announced, Tomorrow I'm filing for divorce with my husband at the registry office. Who came up with this idea? He called me himself and suggested it. I agreed. Soon I'll be a free woman. And what about me? You're not handling your divorce yet. I'll call my wife right now in front of you and offer her the same option. Alex called his wife. Elena answered. Yes? Lena, I've thought it all through and decided we need to get divorced. We're not a real family. Everyone at our company knows this perfectly well. And what do you suggest? Let's go to the registry office tomorrow and file for divorce. Tomorrow? I'm not against it. Let's meet at the registry office at noon. What about earlier? I can't earlier. I'm booked at the beauty salon at 10 a.m. All right. Agreed. Don't forget your passport. And how long does it take there? I don't know. Maybe 15 minutes. Alex ended the call and triumphantly declared, "See? I've resolved everything. Tomorrow we'll file for divorce, and tomorrow I'll take vacation. And what about you? You take vacation too. Let's go to the sea. We'll rest. Now we don't have to hide our relationship anymore." Anna was floating on cloud 9. Yes, she felt sorry for Michael. He liked her. But Alex could provide the life she wanted. She envied Elena terribly. When she saw that her husband was Alex, she decided it was fate. After that, she stopped thinking about anything else. They began seeing each other. Gradually, Anna learned that Alex didn't live with his wife. She didn't let him into her cottage, but apparently, he was seeing some woman in his apartment, where he'd never invited her. On Tuesday morning, Anna spoke with Vika, told her everything, and mentioned that she and Alex were living together in her apartment. Vika responded bluntly, "You're such a fool. You had a normal, peaceful life. Why did you need this, Alex? High school love? So you met up and broke up while your husband. You know nothing about him. He's divorcing his wife and filed for divorce at the registry office the same day we did. It's his business and doesn't concern me." By 10 a.m., Anna met Michael outside the registry office. They stood in line for the specialist who accepted documents. The specialist listened carefully, checked their passports and marriage certificate, gave them an application form, helped fill it out, and after they signed everything necessary, announced, "Your marriage will be dissolved in 30 days. The same procedure was completed by Alex and Elena at noon. Meanwhile, Alex had already signed a leave request starting Wednesday. Anna had also submitted her leave request. After the procedure, Alex went to a travel agency, where Anna was already waiting. There, they purchased a package tour to Antalya, Turkey, for 18 nights. In 3 days, they had to leave for the capital. Those days were busy with preparations for their trip. In passing, Anna called Michael and informed him, "I'm going on vacation to Turkey with Alex. Essentially, it's our honeymoon." "Congratulations. Don't you have anything to say to me?" "What do you want me to say? I took you to Turkey. Now Alex will take you. Be careful with him. As far as I know, he's cheating on his wife." "I have enough worries at work. Sorry, I'll focus on my tasks." Michael wasn't lying. There was a lot to do at work. He was resigning and had to hand over his responsibilities. 3 days later, Anna and Alex left, and Elena began reorganizing the company. First, an independent audit arrived. A few days later, violations were uncovered, and the general director was implicated. After a conversation with Elena, he submitted his resignation voluntarily. Elena took over as acting general director. Michael lived with Elena. He was amazed by her energy. She managed everything. In the morning, she prepared a delicious breakfast. In the evening, she served a ready dinner. They lunched in the city, usually in a cafe. Typically, Michael arrived 10 minutes early and placed the order. Time passed, and Alex and Anna returned from vacation. Even before reaching the city, Anna called Vika to boast about how well she'd rested. Vika listened and began telling her what was happening at the company. Anna quickly realized they were in trouble and told Alex. He called the general director's official mobile phone, and Elena answered. "Good afternoon, I'm listening." "Lena, is that you?" "Alex? Good afternoon." "Lena, why are you answering the general director's phone?" "I'm not Lena, I'm Elena Vladimirovna, and I'm answering because I am the general director. Do you have more questions?" "I don't understand. Did the board of founders agree to this?" "How the company operates under my leadership doesn't concern you. It concerns you very much. I'm still the deputy general director and your husband." "Yes, you're my paper husband. As for your position, I suggest you resign voluntarily. Though, there's a choice. You can resist, and then the audit materials will be handed over to investigative authorities." "What audit?" "We conducted a check here. The general director and chief accountant resigned themselves. By the way, they were given the same choice I'm offering you. They returned part of the stolen funds. Now it's your turn to return what you stole. I'll talk to my parents. They're also shareholders. First, your parents have nothing to do with my company. They sold their shares. And guess to whom? To me, perhaps. And how much do I own as a result? 75% of the company's shares. No, my parents gifted their shares to me. I now own 100% of the newly established company. Are you trying to betray your parents? No, Alex. My parents are sacred to me. And a husband? A real husband, yes. But you, a paper husband. You shouldn't have played with my feelings. But you're the one who kicked me out. And you didn't even try to apologize, and openly lived with that Yana, then got another girlfriend on top of it. Though I was already fed up with what you did at your bachelor party. Who ratted me out? I don't even remember now. Listen, we'll be in town today. Is it okay if we drop by your place? Let's talk. What do you want to talk about? I think about my job. Come over. So I take it you'll be with your beloved woman, Anna? Do you mind? Not at all. Come over. Elena warned Michael that in the evening they'd have guests, her almost ex-husband and his almost ex-wife. Michael asked, "What do they want?" "I think they're interested in the future." "And what do you expect from me?" "That you'll be by my side." "If that's what you wish, then I will." Upon arriving, Alex told Anna, "You stay home for now. I'll go talk to my father." He went to his house, opened the door with his key, entered the room, and was quite surprised. His girlfriend Yana was having fun with his father. Alex rhetorically asked, "Yana, how could you? And you? How could you leave for Turkey with another woman?" "Dad, what's going on here?" "I called Elena and found out she fired the general director and the chief accountant and is offering me to resign voluntarily." "Son, she's free to do whatever she wants. I can't influence her decision since I'm no longer involved with the company." "And Mom?" "Unfortunately, she also sold her shares to Elena without telling me." "And how did Yana end up with you?" "She had some trouble and came here to you for help. You weren't around, so I supported her, and here we are." Alex called Anna and arranged to meet her. Half an hour later, they went together to visit Elena. On the way, Alex instructed Anna, "You stay quiet and don't get into any arguments. I'll do the talking. Today, we're not in a position to argue." "So maybe I shouldn't go?" "No, let her see us. Maybe this will unsettle her." They arrived, rang the intercom, and were invited into the cottage. Elena was preparing something in the kitchen and said, "Wash your hands and sit at the table. We got back from work a little late, so it's time for dinner." "Who's we?" "You're not living alone?" "Why should I live alone?" After seating the guests at the table, Elena called out, "Michael, come eat." From upstairs came the reply, "Coming, just finishing up." Soon, Michael walked into the kitchen. Alex and Anna stared at him in surprise. Ignoring their astonishment, Elena asked, "Michael, what would you like to drink?" "You know, I don't feel like anything today. Offer our guests something." Elena turned to Alex. "What would you like to drink?" "What do you have?" "We've got everything. Something stronger." "I didn't come here with Anna for drinks. Tell me, what do you want?" "I don't want you to fire me." "And you'll keep stealing money from me?" "Anna helped you with that. I'm not asking now whether she did it knowingly or if you used her unknowingly. That's for the investigation to determine. She didn't know anything. That's why you'll resign voluntarily, and Anna will be transferred to a lower position." "And who will take my place?" "Michael?" "No, the position will be eliminated due to its obvious uselessness. Michael will be appointed as the director of the newly created subsidiary. I'll be the general director. And what am I supposed to live on?" "I don't know, Alyosha. For now, your new girlfriend can support you. Your old one will too." "I don't have an old girlfriend. My father lives with her." "And what does your mother think?" "I don't know. I haven't seen her yet." Realizing he wouldn't get anything from Elena, Alex said goodbye and left with Anna. They walked back in silence. Serious problems loomed ahead. But Anna asked, "Tell me, how exactly did you use me? Your wife isn't stupid, and I know that if I ask, she'll tell me. Do you remember the company Three Comrades?" "Yes, I remember. You signed off on work completion reports at my request, without checking them. Here's the thing. That company doesn't exist. All contracts with them are fake. The Three Comrades are me, the general director, and the chief accountant. We split the money 3 ways. And I signed everything? And why did we go to Turkey? Should we go cut down Christmas trees now? Women don't cut down trees. They run sewing workshops. Do you really see me as a seamstress? Don't worry, you won't go to jail. I'll take full responsibility. And how are we supposed to live now? We need to eat every day. Why did I even get involved with you? You won't get fired. You'll just be transferred to another position. And I'll have to look for work." In the end, Michael and Anna were divorced, and so were Alex and Elena. Anna watched enviously as Elena and Michael met after work and rushed to the nearest cafe together, while she returned home to find, more often than not, a drunk Alex. Eventually, he managed to get a job as a warehouse clerk with a friend. Anna still hoped to reconcile with Michael, thinking he was seeing Elena out of revenge. But one day, her friend Vika informed her. "Michael and Elena filed for marriage registration. I think they'll soon have a wedding." "How do you know?" "I was at the registry office too, filing my application. I'm getting married." "And what about you and Alex?" "I'm thinking about how to break up with him, not marry him." Anna broke up with Alex a month after Michael and Elena's wedding. And that's where the story ends. Reflecting aloud, this tale reminded me of the fairy tale about the old woman by the broken trough. She aspired for more but ended up losing everything. Anna acted similarly. Thinking Alex would be a more promising husband, she left Michael for a better life, only to end up with nothing. What do you think about this? I'd love to hear your opinion.